Hey everybody, welcome back to ChortleCast. I'm Jake, and with me as always, Steven, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, the man whose phone is going crazy right now.
It does that every time I start a stream.
It's suddenly
hey
everyone knows.
Fine.
Suddenly everybody knows, hey, it's time to go. Steven, thank you. We are actually together today.
Yep.
We are recording from Steven's
My studio. Yeah.
So there's all sorts of nice equipment that we don't normally get to use. Normally we're using it, but like it's just from different places.
Yeah, little did you know that I'm the one with the really swanky studio that's been hiding from us the whole time.
Yeah, I know. And now we finally discovered that. So anyway, but this is ChortleCast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about TV shows, movies, anime, video games, whatever the heck we want to talk about. Mostly video games. I don't know why I always leave off with TV. And we got a great show for you this week. This is going to be us discussing all of the fun announcements that happened at E3.
And some of the not fun.
And some of the not fun. Things that happened this past E3. E3 just ended a few days ago. So we're just going to kind of recap. What I want us to do, Steven, is I want us to go through all of the different conferences and just give general impressions, real top-level stuff. And then I want to talk about what was your favorite thing, or like what's your takeaway from that conference. Because basically, like for each conference for me, I had like at least one, sometimes two games that I like pre-ordered right after that conference ended.
I might need you to guide me through individual conferences.
I can guide you.
I watched so much.
Steven did a lot.
I did a lot.
Steven streamed every E3 conference.
Streamed every conference. I watched 3 different stages of floor demos every single day.
Yeah.
When I was at work, when I was at home, I had 3 windows open. Sometimes it was 2 on my computer, 1 on my TV. The one that I really wanted to watch was on my TV, and the computer ones were muted. And I would watch in my peripheral vision for another game, and I'd be like, mute, switch over here, watch another game. It was insane.
How did you have so many conferences going at once?
It was GameSpot stage, IGN stage, and then Nintendo Treehouse.
I understand, yeah. I tell you what, Nintendo Treehouse is
killed it.
one of my top favorite things of E3.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I get most sad when that's done.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst.
I was going to say, I normally don't watch Nintendo Treehouse because this for me has been like the year that it's good to own a Switch.
Right.
And so I watched a lot of Treehouse, and man, they did a deep dive into so many games. They did 2 separate demos for Daemon X Machina, each lasting 30 minutes, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. Perfect.
They're great. Yeah. They're great. They're the best. And then I typically have IGN or somebody on that I'll like, oh, hey, look, they're talking about whatever game. So, yeah okay, I understand now. But anyway, yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's talk about it. So, we started off with EA Play. We only streamed the Star Wars announcement.
Only one worth
I think we saw parts of the Apex one.
We saw the beginning and then we paused it.
Yeah, we just kind of were like, oh yeah, let's stop this. So anyway, obviously Star Wars, we're both very excited.
Yeah.
What do you think now that you've, obviously they showed a gameplay demo at their conference, but then they showed more and we've had other people play it.
I said going into Star Wars that I wanted it to be methodical combat that didn't feel overly weighty, like Dark Souls, how it takes you a really long time to swing a sword. In this, it's weighty where the hits feel good, and there's there's still combat rolling and stuff, but there's still a lot of movement, and I don't know, the combat looked perfect. Yeah, the fact that the character used a stormtrooper as a bullet shield for his own shot, it's perfect.
So when I watching the gameplay trailer, my first thought was, man, he's just like. These are puppets, he's just, these are playthings for him. He's way too powerful. But then obviously he fought that stormtrooper who was like a Jedi that I've been training my whole life for this. Yeah. That was like, I was like, okay, all right. So they're going to throw some harder bosses at you, but like, these clone troopers are just ammo fodder. But
Which is how it is for a Jedi. Stormtrooper
is nothing. Yeah.
They're nothing.
Well, I've heard from people who have gotten to play demos on the floor, either behind closed doors, that it does actually feel a lot harder once you're in it and you're doing it. It's not like they're just shooting you, not doing anything. Like they are smart and they're moving and doing they're trying to stop you. So it's not so easy. It's just like there's a stormtrooper over there who's like missing every shot, who you can just like grab and do whatever with. So, which is good because at first I was like, there's no challenge. Like I want to be. There's a fine line between like I want to be challenged to where like I feel the pressure to fight. But also, I want there to be enough freedom and less not tension. So where I can say stop their bullet, grab him, bring him, and do that. Yeah. So anyway, but from all accounts, it's looking like it's going to be really good.
And I'm really glad to hear that. Like Respawn, they haven't done much lately. They've just been the Titanfall people and the Apex people, but they do the games they do so well. I'm really happy to see that they've been the ones to like break the curse for EA, or at least so far it seems like they will be.
And the droid is so cool.
Yeah. BD1, Buddy Droid 1.
Buddy Droid 1. That's it. I did not know about that until we saw the trailer.
Really?
I didn't have any. I had no idea you were having a buddy drone or a droid with you.
I knew about it because I watched the announcement.
Right.
And they talked about him a little bit, but I didn't know that he was going to be with you that much. Like, I like that he's like latched onto you in combat. Yeah. He's who heals you. I think the example I used was Elizabeth from BioShock.
And that's a good example. I've heard a lot of people say Atreus, but I think Atreus does a lot more damage and like helps you in a fight. Which it would be cool if BD1
that would be awesome.
could start doing stuff.
You could like get on a stormtrooper and just start kicking it in the face.
That would be awesome. But then so that was really all we got from EA. I didn't walk away with really anything else.
Anthem.
They showed some Cataclysm stuff, but not much.
Go look up when you get the chance. Everyone at the Anthem EA Play E3 is sad or something like that, and it's like they zoom in on faces in the crowd and everyone's just the whole time like no one's cheering. And is it Greg Miller?
Yes,
he was there.
Yeah,
trying to be like yeah.
God bless him. He was trying.
It was, and I felt bad because like Ben Irving was there. And he's the guy who does Anthem, and everyone loves him because he is a cool guy.
He's a good guy.
And I read the comments, and they were all like, "Someone hug this man. He really needs it." But EA was garbage like they usually are.
Yeah.
This year they were more garbage than usual though, because this time they did take that separate approach where it's like we're going to do these individual games one by one, and it made it feel like EA skipped the press conference days and went straight to the floor demos.
Yeah, that is how it kind of felt doing that.
And that's dumb. Like the reason we have the conferences is so that you can be like, here's what's coming, not here's what's already here that you already know about. Yeah, it just was boring. No spectacle.
No spectacle. Then we got to Xbox, which was a big spectacle.
It was long.
But yeah. Well, so what's so crazy about it? How long was that conference, Steven? Just tell me how long was it?
Hour and 45 minutes.
Okay, it was an hour and 30. Most people would say it's 2 hours.
It felt.
But it wasn't. But it felt like it.
It did.
All I really pulled away from that was Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously, Keanu Reeves
stole the
moment.
Freaking show.
That was the moment of the show.
It was.
And then Spiritfarer, which was that cute boat, deer, animal.
Do you have a
game
list of games
that was announced at Xbox? No. I only selected the things. Well, here, I'll talk about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So what they showed of Cyberpunk was just kind of a new cinematic trailer. Stuff looked really, really good. He had the arm blades for a little bit. I hope that is something you can just equip and have, and that is that.
Just
and
arm blade everything.
Like I've been thinking about it. I've been like Watch Dogs 3, which we'll get to. I'm planning on playing completely no kill. I'm gonna try to do a no kill play. So
you're just gonna melee everything.
Yeah.
Which it has a new melee system, so you actually can do melee.
It does, and every weapon can be taser and not bullets.
That's nice.
As I understand it.
I didn't know that.
Not to get detract. I typically, if there's an option to be like a non-killing character, I try to do that. But with those blades, like I'm gonna have to use those, and that's gonna be killing. So anyway, but the trailer looked really cool. Obviously, they revealed Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand, who's like a cybernetic ghost that's following you around. Mm-hmm.
And Keanu is also John Wick.
Yes.
I swear.
No, it's like a list. There's a long list of characters has played who have the name John in it.
John Wick is in Cyberpunk. That's what they're going for, I swear.
Anyway, he's a ghost. So he's kind of like, did you play Arkham Knight? Batman Arkham Knight?
I watched a lot of playthroughs, though, or a lot of gameplay.
So spoilers for Anthem Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Knight. The Joker is in Batman's head.
So that's what Johnny is?
He pops up around and just like makes comments, and like no one can see him but you.
Yeah.
That's what Johnny is.
That's cool. Yes. I didn't know that.
So Johnny will be with you pretty much the whole story.
Huh.
And it's unclear to me. I'm assuming that Johnny was a mentor to you and somehow a cybernetic copy of himself has gotten into your system somehow or something.
So maybe he's an existing AI like Cortana that somehow got
something like, a lot of people have been calling him Cortana, comparing him to that. I compare it more to the Joker scenario there with Arkham Knight. But anyway, I'm super excited about that game. We finally got a release date, April 16th, 2020.
There are a lot of
March,
innovative,
April 2020.
game-changing games coming out in March and April.
I know.
Like
2020 is going to be a 2017 year.
Yeah, Cyberpunk boasts to be this RPG like no other, and then a month earlier, you've got Watch Dogs, which literally everyone, and we'll get to that for Ubisoft, but literally everyone that's talked about Watch Dogs Legion has been like, "Where's the butt? Where's the catch?"
Yeah, where's the
But
stop?
they've all been like, there doesn't seem to be one.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
So to get back to Cyberpunk, so they showed another behind closed doors demo, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts of people talking about what they showed there. I'm really hoping they'll do what they did with the last demo, which was basically they weren't going to show it, but then after, I want to say a month after E3, they were like, "We're going to release this. Everyone, please understand this is early development. We got a lot of good feedback at E3, so we're showing this, but whatever." So I hope they'll do that again because they're probably further along now.
Cyberpunk had, what was it, a 25-minute public demo on the floor, I think.
Yes.
And a 50-minute press demo, I think is what they said.
And they showed the press demo.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope they'll do that again. But what I've heard about what they showed behind closed doors is basically they played a mission from two different character builds, and it's not that you can switch between these people. It's just like, here's the variety of what you can do. So the first person they had was all about hacking, and so they came up to a place, they hacked a door, they got in, they hacked a turret, the turret started killing people, they hacked people and made them kill themselves or kill each other.
That's not original. Games have done that.
I know.
But that's cool.
But it's cool. And so they did all that sort of stuff. And then they got about midway through the mission and they were like, okay, we're going to pause. We're going to jump into a different game where you're a character who's solely built on strength.
Right.
And so the first door that they hacked to get in, he just rips it open. And then like they go in and like he picks up a tank and throws it or something like
a tank.
Yeah, something like that. It was just like a full strength character. He was ripping people in half. Like it was just completely different. And again, I haven't seen this. It's just what I've been told from other people who've seen the demo. But anyway, so you can pretty much go about it however you want, and you can take on things however you want. So, and you can build your character however you want. So, I'm so excited for that game. Great. So, and that's another thing. Hearing stuff like that, it's like I'm going to pick a direction and I'm going to go that way, especially with like your character, and like you're never going to see that I'm going to rip the store open character unless that's what you go for.
I'm going to hack everything.
That's what I want to do.
I'm going to walk through the world and just make it my plaything.
Part of me wants to hack and not kill anything, but there's another part of me that wants to hack and then hack.
I'm just going to be
for
like,
those that are
you're
audio
dead.
listeners.
Kill yourself. Kill that guy. You kill him. Like, just.
Can you? You just need to fully enforce into cool points too, so you can do that. But you'll like snap into a spin and like the whole nine.
Hey, like, and if that doesn't work, then hack them.
Hey. Yeah. Good. But then Spiritfarer, I'll talk about that too. That was y'all called it an Alex Ann game, which is Brody's wife. Yeah. It's just a kind of a cute. It reminded me of what's the game I played? The ship where you're on the ship and you're keeping the ship going.
Oh gosh.
Oh, what is it called?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
I forget what it was. Oh well. Anyway, it looked like you're managing a ship that's sailing. I think you're sailing people to the afterlife. Is what I think it is. You're like ferrying their spirit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it looked like you were making these cool relationship with these animals and trying to make them happy, and then the game says like you're learning how to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. So like they showed this one deer character who you're ferrying and you're doing these missions with them and you're having fun, and then it's like you deliver them to this place and suddenly they're gone.
What would be interesting? A game called Pyre. Supergiant.
Uh-huh.
They did something like that where you have a group of like this nomad group, and they're in exile and they're trying to get out of exile. And each time you win this competition, you choose someone to lose because they leave exile, and so it's like, well, this guy's my favorite character, but he's also my best character. Right. So I want him to get out of here, but
he can't get out of here now. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they're doing something like that where it's like you get to choose who goes.
I don't know, but it looks so cool. Yeah. It's coming to PS4. It was shown at Xbox, obviously. It's coming to PC.
I thought it was hilarious how as soon as Xbox ended, I got notifications of all of the games that from PlayStation.
Yes, and that's what that's how I saw Spiritfarer was going to be on there.
Yep.
Like if I was PlayStation, I 100% would have done that too.
Oh, 100%.
Like it's everything that was mentioned. I would have been like, hey, you can play it here, you can play it here, you can play it here, or whatever. Because that's always my biggest concern walking out of there. But those are the two takeaways I had from Xbox. So what about you, Steven? You
So there was just a lot, but a couple things I'll touch on. Forza has Legos now, which was
your reaction was priceless.
That was the Daemon Ex Machina of this year. Because last year it was like, what is this? But this year it was, now this game's not for me. What? That was great. Outer Worlds looks amazing.
Yes.
I really want that game.
Obsidian is really good.
They did Fallout New Vegas. They did Pillars of Eternity, which is one of the most beloved RPGs of recent years.
I've heard good things about that, too, from people who have gotten to play it at E3.
Yeah. It just looks like Fallout in space.
Yeah.
And I love that. And so I'm going to be getting that.
There's another game that is not Outer Worlds, but it's a space traveling game that I've heard of, and I swear, what is this one we're talking about? Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds.
I swear it's like Worlds Outer or something like that. Yeah, it has a time loop involved. What were we talking? I don't know what these two games are, but something has meshed them in my mind, and I don't know how to untangle them.
Someone at a press conference talked about like it was Deathloop.
Well, there's Deathloop, but that's different.
That looked like what you would describe to me.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's not.
It's
okay.
not.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's not Outer Worlds because that's
Outer Worlds. You do planet hop.
Yeah,
and it won't be. They said don't expect a huge, massive world, but you will be planet hopping, which I'm okay with.
But there's like people you interact with and that sort of. See, whatever this game is that I was talking about, what I understood is it's all the lore. The lore is so thick. Like I'll find a rock that'll actually be a totem or something, and that'll tell me something.
This is not that game.
Yeah.
This game is very much build relationships. You can be the paragon of goodness, as people call it, or you can just be a complete bastard and like go up to this guy and shoot him in the face for no reason. Like you have the options of basically handling the world however you want, and you've got your own crew. It seems really cool. So I'm definitely going to be getting that one. Borderlands dropped a DLC that ties into Borderlands 3.
Right, and I think that's free right now.
It is. Like it's free till early July.
The Handsome Jack collection is free on PSN on all systems
except for PC.
There you go. Sucks.
Well, no, it might be if you have.
It
Xbox
might be. Who
Game
knows?
Pass for PC.
Who knows how that works? Scoot a little closer to me, dude. Yeah. And then yes, so you could download the Handsome Jack collection, get that, and then you're ready to go into
if
3.
You have not downloaded Handsome Collection, do it. Borderlands is the original looter shooter, and it is arguably done at some of the best that anyone has ever done.
I want to try it.
But Borderlands 3 looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Borderlands 3.
And then there was that Lego Star Wars. You were telling me just a second ago that it's open world.
It's going to be open world. Like we've got open world Lego games because Lego Lord of the Rings was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
Here comes my Lego game lore. But the Marvel games have been all open world. So it's just kind of the standard now to make Lego games open world. And so I don't know what that means. I'm really excited to see what
I'm really curious what that means too, because I remember playing through like Star Wars 1 and 2 in Lego version, but it was very linear. Like there was a hub world that you could like pick your character.
It was either the Mos Eisley Cantina or the diner from episode 2.
Yeah, there was a diner, I think was the one that I remember. And like you could make your own character and stuff, but you were going into doorways that took you to levels, missions, and that was it.
Yeah, that's how Lego games were up until Lord of the Rings. But that kind of changed the game. But no, just Microsoft showed a lot. My general takeaway was last year they said, hey, we're forming an Xbox Game Studio. We're going to make a lot of games. And this year they were like, hey, remember that studio? Here are some games.
Right.
And that was good to see. That because like most of the games we said last year, there were no Xbox exclusives anywhere. But with this, a lot of the games said Xbox Game Studio.
Yeah, there were a bunch that were Game Studio but weren't exclusive. But there were a couple that were exclusive. Like there's that Woods game with the deer. It's like Journey with deer. I really want to play
Another
that.
Alex Ann game.
Yeah, I really want to play that.
Yeah.
I guess me and Alex Ann, our game enjoyment.
There's
There's
an
an interlap somewhere.
Yeah. But that was good to see. Like, hey, we're holding on to that promise.
Yeah.
To me, I didn't. I walked away from the Microsoft press conference thinking, this is a good time to be a gamer, not, gosh, I need an Xbox One. Which is good for me, bad for them.
Bad for them. That's what they needed to do. This was their year with Sony not being here to be like, look at us. This is why you should be playing us on us. But they didn't do that. They didn't give us any reason. They talked about xCloud. xCloud sounds interesting, but it's nothing we didn't already know. They didn't really clear up any news. And I've heard from people playing hands-on that like it's better than remote play, but it's not great. Now, something we haven't talked about is Stadia. I've had people who had hands-on with Stadia say that it really works. Like, it's perfect. People were playing Doom, and they were saying it's, there are some noticeable differences between PS4, but it runs smooth.
But those people were using it on floor?
They were using it on floor with a LAN cable to a Chromebook-enabled laptop with an HDMI out to a TV. So it's ideal circumstances, but it worked. So
I believe it works under ideal circumstances. I honestly, cynical me coming here. I want the Stadia to suck. I want it to suck.
Yeah.
Because it is, like I said, trying to fix an industry that is not broken. And they are scaring the crap out of hardware developers. Because all the hardware developers are like, Stadia is about to come in and just wreck everything. We need to figure out what to do. And so if Google throws that wrench in the game, the industry is going to start changing around Google's innovations. And then suddenly you're going to have to do game streaming whether you like it or not.
This is, I don't necessarily want it to fail, but right now, so I think I talked about this. I pre-ordered the Stadia Founders Pack. I canceled it because I realized I really have no reason to get it.
Right.
Like, I can play Destiny on my PS4, and I could obviously do cross save and stuff with Stadia, but as I understand it, I can still use Stadia without what came with the Founders Pack and some other stuff. But
also for Destiny specifically with cross save, DLCs don't count. You have to repurchase all DLCs.
But still, regardless, it was like I really don't have a reason to play specifically on Stadia.
Right.
The only time I would use it would be when I'm on the road, and frankly, I'm just not on the road as much as I was.
And you have a Switch for that.
And I have a Switch, and that's kind of the only time I'd really gravitate towards the Switch, unless I don't have anything else I'm trying to play.
They're with having a Switch, you kind of gravitate towards it in those situations anyway. To where it's like, I've got all these games for the Switch. I don't need the games at home right now.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. It's a curious thing to keep watching, but from what I've heard, it works better than xCloud. So we'll see.
Bad for Xbox.
Bad for Xbox. Bethesda. Overall, an okay show. I thought it was fine.
In hindsight, I looked back at it and I was like, there's no way they did not pay off a lot of people in that audience. There is
for the screamers,
freaking way. Because for as many people to cheer as they did for Fallout 76, there's no freaking way they did not have people playing it.
Unless, I am not so optimistic that I would tell you, nah, Steven, they didn't pay off anybody. I believe that they did pay off some people, but I do believe that there were some people in there who really did enjoy 76.
Probably, but if you look at the internet's reaction, they're like, what happened? No one's okay with 76.
Yeah.
And sure, it's been improved, but I don't know. I just was left with a weird feeling where it was just like, I wasn't that wowed, but everyone's acting like, because it's Bethesda.
It was so cool. Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever. The only thing that really, well, two things.
Ghostwire, Tokyo.
That's Ghostwire. Thank you.
Looks awesome.
The lady that announced it was adorable.
She was another highlight. She was another highlight of E3. Great. Absolutely. I don't even remember her name.
Have been everyone's two favorites.
And then Bobo the dog or whatever. Punisher's dog.
Yes.
That came out on stage. That's
Yes.
been everyone's favorite part.
Yeah.
Ghostwire looked awesome. That's really the Deathloop would be like a second
That
star.
looked interesting.
It looked very interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah.
You have two main characters and they're in a death loop where they're trying to kill each other, but every time they kill each other, they just start over.
It's like Happy Death Day, but both ways, and it's an action.
That's a great way to describe it. Yeah. That looked really interesting. I'm curious to see more of that. But like, really, the only other thing I cared about was Ghostwire. I know you cared. To talk about Ghostwire.
Okay.
They showed the trailer, and it was people in Japan literally disappearing.
It was like a rapture.
Like like the rapture, and all these spirits suddenly were kind of showing up everywhere. And it looked spooky. It looked kind of creepy. But then they show the main, who I assume will be the main character, and it's this dude who's like in a hood, and he's got this bow on his back, and like I just saw the bow on the back, and I was like, I am in. I am
He's like,
sold. I have pre-ordered this. What's going on? And so we see him shoot a spirit with the arrow, and then he does like this magic
thing,
blast. And I was just like, I am in. You've got Tokyo, which is one of my favorite things in games. You got bows, and you got magic. I am sold.
I love games like that blend horror and like spooky settings with action.
Yeah.
Like BioShock and Metro. Two amazing franchises. I love when that is blended together. And so if we get a game that is like an action RPG that will also scare you, that sounds awesome.
See, I'm curious because like so walking away from it, I was like, that was awesome, that was great.
Yeah.
Then I like started reading stuff, and it was like the makers of Evil Within too, and I was like, whoa. I never would play that because it was way too spooky for me.
Yep.
Am I walking into something spooky? And like she said, even at the beginning, she was like, it's spooky. So I don't know. I'm very curious.
It will be scary. But like, again, if they manage to scare you while expecting you to fight back, those are the best.
See, that's if I can be spooked, but I can fight back, I'll be all right.
I love those. Doom Eternal.
Yeah, so you got real excited about Doom.
I got so excited for that because I'm fresh on Doom. I just got it like a month ago, and I've been playing it only when I stream.
It sounds like a drug. I'm fresh on Doom, dude.
It feels like because some nights I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to stream tonight, but I want to play Doom, and I made a promise, so I'm gonna stream tonight. But Doom Eternal looks like they improved on so many levels when it comes to just gameplay. Story-wise, I don't know, because apparently we're going to heaven.
Yeah, there was a weird segment where that happened.
That happens in Diablo.
Right.
But it fits in Diablo. But in Doom, it's like,
what's
I don't know
heaven?
about
why
that.
are we fighting demons in heaven?
The reason you go to hell is because you find that the gateway to hell is on Mars, obviously. And people are trying to harness hell energy as if it's this thing that's okay. Because it's great, because when you're playing Doom, I'm going to tangent for like literally 20 seconds. When you're playing Doom, you're like going through the facility, and there's this like AI robot that's like trying to, like, sounds like a PR voice. And it's like, with hell energy, we've been able to harness so much power for Earth. It's like, hell energy. Just stop.
That's bad.
It's bad. But, and so the gateway to hell was there. And then, you know, as Hawkeye says in Avengers, a door goes both ways.
Right.
So demons started pouring through. So that's where that connection was. But to go to heaven is like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see how that goes.
And I'm not big on Doom lore, so heaven might have been a big part of the previous games. I don't know, but I've only ever known hell to be it. But the gameplay looks super heightened. They're adding grappling hooks to a shotgun that you can like latch on enemies with.
Yes, that looked really
There's
fun.
a lot more verticality where you've got to like dash and double jump and grapple and stuff. And the guns look nuts. There was a part in the trailer where he had a wrist blade and he went to a fat demon, stabbed his heart out, pulled his jaw open, and just forced the heart down his mouth. And if you watch the reaction to Doom, everyone in the room is like, but I'm like, ah!
And I was just like, did he just do that?
Oh man,
That was great.
But Doom looks great. It looks like it's going to be so fun to play. I normally hate games like that, but Doom is special because of the music.
Yeah, it has got a lot of good soundtracks.
But yeah, Bethesda, they just showed a lot of what they normally show every year with like whatever they're doing with Fallout, whatever they're doing with ESO. It felt just kind of by the numbers.
Yeah, and I felt like
mediocre.
they spent a little too much time on the card games and on ESO and some of those. It was just like, come on.
Bethesda feels like every single year they're kind of the same except for one or two things.
Yeah. Oh, and that freaking Cadet Cade or whatever
Commander Keen.
Commander Keen. That didn't need to happen.
So Commander Keen, this one looks dumb, but Commander Keen is like a pre-Doom, like one of the first shooters ever made. That's who Commander Keen is.
Okay.
And so to make a new one was like, okay, that's cool, but they did it wrong.
Yeah, they did it wrong.
Yeah.
It was not something that I don't think many people cared about, because like it looks like a kid game, but I don't think it's supposed to be a kid game.
It kind of was back in the day, but you could have done it differently.
Yeah, I don't know. It just did not look. And then it's mobile, so it's like I'm already out in so many degrees.
That's how I am. As soon as they say mobile, I'm like,
yeah,
no. Last thing on Bethesda, unless you had something else, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Yeah,
looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I am not a Wolfenstein player or fan.
I'm not either.
And I've heard from people who liked Wolfenstein that it's not as good, like just who've gotten to play some of it, but. Who knows?
I mean, the combat looked slick. Get to kill Nazis. That's all you can really ask for.
That's all you can really ask for.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Ubisoft. For me, I didn't really get that many things that I pulled away from Ubisoft, because it was a lot of, hey, let's check in on Rainbow Six. Let's check in on Destiny. Let's check in on Breakpoint.
Division.
What did I say?
Destiny.
Sorry, Division 2.
Yes.
Let's check in on, all these different things. And then Super Smash Brothers, Tom Clancy's Super Smash Brothers.
Which, that's the caveat to mobile games. When I saw that, I was like, I will try this.
I'll try it.
I'm gonna take the reins then for Ubisoft.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs.
They started with Watch Dogs.
That's all I really cared about.
It looked awesome. At first, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, because the tone was kind of weird with the Hitman Granny. But the more I saw, the more they showed, I'm totally on board.
The more I've seen, the more I've gotten okay with it. My initial fear going into it was, if we can play as anybody, how does anybody feel like, oh, this is my main character? Like, how do you connect with anybody? But I think they're gonna take it at an angle of, you are DedSec and you're trying to stop this, because in one of the gameplay demos, the one that we watched, they had to black out in the middle of it and they had to like restart. They played through a series of missions that led you to this point where whoever your character was walked into an ambush.
Right.
And they basically, a bomb went off and they blamed DedSec for taking down like the Canadian embassy or something like that. And almost I've heard a lot of people talk about playing that, and they all say their character died in that moment, and then in the demo their character died in that moment. But so like the bad guys think, cool, we got him, but there's like, we're Legion, we're unstoppable. So I've gotten more on board with it. You can have 20 people in your squad at any time.
Okay, I didn't know that.
There are 3 classes. So there's an enforcer who they're good with guns, they're good with combat skills.
Guns and explosives. Infiltrator, I think, is the stealth melee.
Infiltrator is stealth melee. Obviously, all of these classes have hacking abilities, but some will be better and quicker than others.
Right.
And then there's the hackers, who they have a spider drone.
Which, the more I saw the spider drone, I love the spider drone. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies when it moves.
So it's cool because obviously it can infiltrate and it can take down people.
Yeah,
but also you can
them, which
you can just toss it out and it's a turret from Division 2 to just fight with you. So
I love that.
I'm all about that. I was a little, while watching, I was like, but I loved having the drone. Like, why don't we have a drone? There are drones everywhere, and you can hack them, like, no problem. As any class, you can just hack the drone. So the drone is completely usable. Yeah. But
so to add a little more context to Watch Dogs before we move on, based on all the floor demo stuff that we did see, every single character, playable, has their own voice, their own animations, their own story. Like they showed on a demo, they were walking around a bar and they were scanning everybody. You could potentially play as any of them. And we saw that they had individual stories. Like you could open up a bio. Some of them, like one person, an example they used, this guy might have an uncle that he gets lunch with every Monday. You could go find them at lunch. You could kill his uncle, and then he would be mad at DedSec because he would blame DedSec for the death of his uncle. So you'd have to work that into your relationship building with him. This is what I mean when I say people have been like, there has to be a couch somewhere, because this is such an insane level of coding that we have not really seen before.
Right.
Because like we've heard like Grand Theft Auto, for example, people have used that as a kind of example of a living, breathing world where people like do things, like have their own lives. This is a whole nother level of that because it's instead of adding just those idle actions to characters,
Right.
you're adding like idle action with purpose.
Yeah.
And playability.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
This is a minor gripe, and honestly, just the fact that they've been able to do any level of this is cool. But like the granny character, I swear every granny is going to be the same.
They're going to move the same.
Especially motion capture, they're going to move the same.
Yeah.
But I've seen at least 2 grannies who had the same voice just across different playthroughs, and like very obviously their facial character was different, but it was the same voice.
Yep.
And like I expect that. That's how it's probably going to be a lot of places. But anyway, if they can make the other people who don't look like grannies, feel different every time, that's going to be awesome. You know what I'm going to play? How I'm going to play?
What?
So I'm going to have a squad of I have 4 characters that I want to make and fill these roles. So I want to have an infiltrator who's a main character, and I want it to be a guy, and I'm going to try to make them me. Like this is going to be me. And then I want a girl hacker, like who's about the same age as the main guy, and that's going to be my hacker. And so she'll do, some hacking missions. Then I want a granny who's also a hacker, but she doesn't really go on missions. She's just going to be in probably group cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want her to be like the wise old granny who's like in the headquarters. And then I want a buff chick to be my enforcer.
Okay.
So that's my team of 4 I'm going to make, and they're probably all going to die, and that's great. It's going to be great.
Permadeath.
There is permadeath.
Love me some permadeath.
I'm real nervous about permadeath because I'm going to be going through people like crazy, especially in Watch Dogs, because there's so many stupid things you can do to kill yourself.
They showed that you can surrender or keep fighting. So I'm wondering if you surrender, if that unlocks a mission to break out.
You'll be in prison, and you can either like some people as you scan NPCs, you see like stats. Some people have like a 20% chance to get out of jail free or something like that. So
that's cool.
And that's the other thing, like picking your character. Like I feel like if whoever I get at first that I like really start to build up, like I'm gonna eventually find somebody who's got way better stats at the end, and it's like I don't want to lose this character. So I don't know. It's kind of that's the thing. I'm not sure,
but it is super ambitious.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it. You Division 2, did they tickle your fancies at all?
They did. They mentioned another raid, which irked me a little bit because I hate console raids.
Right.
And there's so many things broken
about the current raid.
Just game in general. I was talking to McCoy, who's a good friend of mine that's on PlayStation now, so we'll probably be seeing him on the channel a couple times. But I was talking to him, and I was like, man, this one, the crossbow, for example, it's been broken since day one.
Right.
Where 60% of the time, your bolts could make impact, blow up, no damage happens. Since day one.
Yeah.
They have not fixed it. And they keep saying like, hey, we're fixing this and this and this. They either don't completely fix it, or they make it worse, or they break something else in the process.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not saying like these guys don't know what they're doing. It's a big game. There's a lot of code that has to be changed around everything. But it gives me a bad feeling when they're just like, yeah, another raid is coming. And I'm just like, awesome. We console peasants can't really do much right now. Please change that.
We peasants. Get down on the ground. Get off the castle.
I love Division. They finally talked about episodes 1 through 3, which are free DLC expansions. And you won't understand this. Aaron Keener is coming back. He was the main villain in 1, the guy who was kind of leaving breadcrumbs taunting us the whole time.
Is that who you're hunting?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he ended the first game ended with him having the complete upper hand. And so he's been a really cool villain. And we've been waiting like, where's Keener? What's going on? And we're hunting him in episode 3.
Awesome.
That's going to be great. I'm really excited for that. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, more stuff. John Bernthal, Punisher, showed up. He is honestly great. Like he is such a commanding talker. And like whenever Cole Walker is on screen in Ghost Recon, I'm a wolf, been trained with the ghosts, talking how it's just like I want to listen.
Right.
And he does such a good job. And Jeremy even said when we played the mission tying into Breakpoint for Wildlands, he was like, did they change writers or is this just way better? And it was like, no, I think John Bernthal just
commands.
He commands every scene he's in. So I'm really excited for him being the villain because he's owning it, and that's great.
That's good.
Rainbow Six did some stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole new Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is PvE.
They came out on stage and they said, Siege is PvP, Quarantine is PvE, and I was like,
I'm interested.
Give it to me
yeah.
right now. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be zombies, though.
I mean, zombies are fun.
But that's not Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to get it, and I'm probably going to enjoy it, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day playing Rainbow Six games for the co-op, and now it's like tactical zombie shooting, which could be fun.
Tactical zombie shooting.
Scrolling through real quick. Roller Champions, which was literally all sports games thrown into a blender.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really roller derby is fun to watch. So I watched like a whole match or something that they posted as like a demo.
Yeah.
It looks fun. I think people who like are really into Rocket League could get really into that sort of thing.
It looks like a Rocket League.
Yeah.
Imitator.
I'm down to try it. I really want to try it. I just don't know that how much I want to pay to try it. But it looked good.
Yeah, I would totally try it if it was like free trial or something. I would totally do that. Last thing was Gods and Monsters.
Yeah,
which didn't really get much. Like even for a Ubisoft mic drop, they didn't tell us.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what looked like a really cool world. As soon as they showed us the world, I was like, "Oh, this is that Breath of the Wild game they were talking about." To me, it looks like Breath of the Wild, but with
like
Gods and
mythology,
Monsters.
yeah.
So, and like, personally, I'm over like Roman mythology. I'm just like,
it's
I don't
done to death.
Yeah, and like Norse is starting to get to that point because there was some point around like when Thor was becoming popular in the movies that like suddenly people were like,
Vikings
Thor,
everywhere.
who's this? Oh, let's learn about Norse. Why don't they teach us Norse mythology in school? And like now they do teach Norse mythology in school.
God of War kind of was the pinnacle of how to do.
And then there
mythology.
was Hellblade. There's been a ton of stuff that like is in that Norse.
And the next Assassin's Creed game is probably going to be Norse.
It's going to be Norse. So like both of those I'm kind of over at this point, but especially Roman. I've never really been a big fan of Roman mythology, but whatever. So I'm interested to see more of that game, but I'm not like do or die for that.
Yeah.
Square. They talked about Final Fantasy VII. That looked good.
It looked awesome.
Really good. I like the pause and do some tactical stuff.
The visuals were great. The gameplay looks fun. They showed a few characters. Like it really is amazing if you look at the first one compared to this one.
Yeah, and they did say that it is going to be episodical. So episode 1 comes out on whatever that date was. It's March 2020, I think, right?
Like that, yeah. But they did also say that each episode is going to be like the size of a Final Fantasy game.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But yeah, it looks really fun. Like I said, that tactical stuff, like you can switch between characters on the fly. But apparently you can also, like if I'm Cloud and I'm playing and I notice that Barrett has his AP points used up, I can pause and say, Barrett, use this, and he'll do it without me switching to him. Yeah. So that's really kind of cool. It's a very nice blend of real-time strategy with the tactical strategy they used to do, turn-based stuff. Yeah. So other than that, get some Marvel, but...
There was one more. It was Outriders. It was very brief. It was that sci-fi game.
Oh, yeah.
Co-op shooter, story-based, from people who worked on Gears of War and Bulletstorm. I'm interested.
Yeah, interested, but
no real.
Everything else, it was just another Final Fantasy MMO and like all this other stuff.
Final Fantasy.
There's a lot of stuff that I was not there for. They finally talked about Avengers. Looked awesome. The trailer looked amazing. Yes. There's all sorts of things they've talked about since then too, like. There will be microtransactions.
We knew that was coming.
But there's not loot boxes.
Right.
So far, they're claiming that it's just going to be like cosmetic stuff. You will have customization of your character. So like there's skills, there's gear, there's cosmetic stuff. So this is great. I love this. There's cosmetics and then there's gear. So like you select gear that give you stats, but then it does not affect your look. So that's going to be great. There was something else that they talked about.
The campaign won't be multiplayer.
The campaign is not multiplayer. The campaign is single player, but you can do side missions with friends, as I understand it. Okay. I think they called it campaign missions or something like that. anyway, so you can get a squad to do those type of things. Right. So, and I imagine once you beat the story, it will be very much feel very similar to like a Strike playlist where you're just going through a bunch of different missions.
Right.
They said all new characters will be free, all new stuff will be free.
Overwatch business model. That's what we wanted.
Yep, and that sounds great. Talking or listening to people who have seen a closed door game demo say I've heard mixed reviews across the board about how they thought it looked. I've had some people say they thought it looked like trash, like horrible, like why are they showing this? And other people be like, that was amazing. That's what I want from a Marvel game. Yep. I've seen a lot of people. Everybody agrees that Black Widow was the best. Watching.
That's interesting.
Yes, I know. But I think it's because she's the one that is easiest to wrap your head around. I mean, she's doing double pistols. She's got her electric things, and she's just doing flips and kicks and stuff. But like a lot of people said that Iron Man did not feel like Anthem, and that's like what you want. And then a lot of people said that the Hulk looked like what the Hulk does, but it wasn't anything special. Yeah. And then I've heard a lot of people say Cap's looked like it was really good, but a lot of people say that Thor's didn't look right. Like the throwing the hammer and the hammer coming back and swinging the hammer, like they said that looked horrible because it was just swinging and just things were falling. Like it didn't look like he was hitting anything. So I don't know. Obviously it's early.
Got time to work on it.
They didn't hand the controller to anybody to play, in those demos. So I'm curious, but even if it does, I think I've decided that even if it does feel a little bit like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, and what I mean by that is just like the characters don't have an in-depth feeling like Spider-Man on PS4, right. Which that's a whole game dedicated just to Spider-Man. I think I'll be okay with that as long as it looks the way that it looks right now.
Like the gameplay style being
the kind of over your shoulder third person, not like kind of half top down. I think I can get on board with that. Okay. So
yeah, I'm all for it. Like everything they said on paper is everything I would have wanted, and so I'm on board.
It's a great start, and a lot of people have been complaining about the design.
People have said that it was PS3 graphics. Like, what trailer did you watch?
I'm saying I don't get that feeling at all, and even. Like the character designs people were complaining about, I thought they looked great, but also you're gonna get customized, like you're gonna get skins.
The character designs I thought were fine. Like it was a little jarring having Nolan North as Tony Stark,
right?
But that's just because it's Nolan North. I think like performance-wise, he's a great Tony Stark. Yeah. And the fact that you got Troy Baker to be Bruce Banner, and you've got more Nolan North and Troy Baker interacting.
That's gonna be great.
How can you complain about that?
Yeah, and especially as Banner and Stark, it's perfect. Like that's a perfect duo.
I wonder how that would have been if it was Troy Baker as Captain America. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting. Anyway, I think it could have gone either way.
But Thor's design looks awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't. The people being upset about that, I don't understand. People still being nervous about how is this microtransaction going to work?
Completely understandable.
How is this gameplay going to work? That I can get on board with. But
people who are saying that like everything they saw was trash, the design was terrible, the graphics were terrible, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Let's talk about the show that saved E3, Steven. That's Nintendo.
It didn't save E3.
Oh, it did.
It
did. I just want you to know, I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games.
You're a Nintendo fanboy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those are Nintendo games, okay?
You're a fanboy.
Well, let me just kick it off. So I don't remember in order.
Here's the reins.
Thank you. Give me the reins back. Luigi's Mansion.
Looks great.
Had great demo of that.
8-player co-op.
8-player co-op. Insane. I watched Treehouse Live. They did like a let's play multiplayer, and they did like a normal Luigi's Mansion thing. Took a break, came back, multiplayer. The multiplayer looks awesome. Basically, you're playing through a short tower, and like each level has a goal. So it might be like destroy or kill all ghosts on this floor. The next one might be find this much gold on this floor. The next one might be save all the toads
so it's
or
like
something.
Randomized dungeon runs in a Luigi's Mansion game.
Yes, it's so fun. And like the one they showed, I'm sure there is split screen, but like they had 4 people on 4 different systems connected locally wirelessly.
We do know that with Guigi there is
8-player.
And there is split screen.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it just looked awesome because like player 1 would like go into the room and find player 2 and they'd team up and do something, and like everybody had their own Guigi, so it was like 8 people were playing at once. So it was awesome. They showed the Guigi stuff. That's like a goo version of Luigi that he can control, and he can go through like spikes and grates and stuff. And
shout out to the poor little brother out there who had to pick his character last, so he's stuck with like orange Luigi.
Well, like, and that's the thing too. So in the main game, it's co-op because someone can play as Luigi.
Which I love that Nintendo's doing that. Like they did that with Cappy in Odyssey, where it was just
but Cappy was a poor imitation, but they did something.
But they're doing that sense of like
every game
like
has
a
co-op
little
now.
sibling could pick up a controller and be a partner, kind of like Sonic and Tails, how they were back in the day on Sega.
I'm hoping they'll do that with Zelda, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So anyway, Luigi's Mansion looks great. The ghosts that they showed, there's like a movie director ghost that they showed on Treehouse, and like
that,
you had to be in his film to get the elevator button to go to the next floor. It's gonna be a great. I'm like really pumped for that. I hate that we don't have a release date yet, but I'm thinking surely it's got. They said fall 2019. Got to be October.
You'd think so.
I'd be shocked if
We're
not. It's
gonna get a
October or
direct between
November.
now and then it's gonna be mostly about Luigi.
Absolutely. I don't know about mostly, but it'll tell
It's
us
probably
that
gonna
day.
be like the
Link's Awakening, which we already knew about,
Looks
but
cute.
like they showed us more of. I'm so in love. It looks great.
It looks really cute.
It's really cute.
I
It's going to be a
probably won't
lot
get
of fun.
But I mean, I'm not.
Here's my thing. It's a Link. It's a Legend of Zelda game.
It is.
It's an old one that I never got to play, so I'm all about jumping in and getting some more.
Jake, I have so many games that I have to buy.
I'm sorry, Steven.
I can't just
I'm
be
sorry.
Like, take more money, Nintendo. You already own
They,
my left foot. Take the other one.
They showed you can do this dungeon creation thing.
Yeah.
And like it gives you a template, and you just drop in dungeons that as you beat dungeons, you get like the rooms that were in that dungeon, and you can arrange them however you like.
That's cool.
When they showed it, I was like, this is cool, but I'll never do anything with it. But then at Treehouse Live, one of their guys had made one, and he got Alnuma-san to play through it. And it was so cute and so awesome to watch because he annihilated it. Like he just blew through it like it was nothing. But I was just like, okay, that's kind of fun. Like, what if you make, we could make a world. I could send it to you, be like, try to beat this. Here's my time, whatever. Which like we don't normally do stuff like that, but I think it would be fun to try at some point. But anyway, so I'm all about that one. They talked about Animal Crossing.
They did.
Super excited about Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yep.
Instead of being a mayor of a town or coming to a pre-existing town at all, you are dropped on an island, and it's like, here you go, build whatever you want.
That's interesting.
So like you literally are going to build up this whole town.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily the mayor, but you're kind of like the leader, because like other animals will say, hey, I was thinking about putting my house here. Is that okay, or would you rather maybe put it somewhere else? So like you can tell them no or put it around, and apparently you can have like I can have you in my town as like a villager. So that's going to be really cool. You can do local co-op and online co-op. There's some really confusing parts on that. Like for some reason you can't your character on your Switch can't come to my island and put their tent down, but you can make your character on my Switch. And that person can live on my island, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, you could come, your Steven from your island could come to my island and hang out with my Jake. But if you wanted to live on my island, you'd have to make a Steven on my island. Anyway, it's very confusing. But
you'll have to make all of our fans.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have a whole village of Chortle fans. It's going to be great. Chortle Island, that's what I'll call it. But anyway, New Horizons is great. I hate that it's delayed. But the reason they delayed it is because they didn't want to do crunch. They didn't want to crunch, and they were concerned about their employees' health and well-being.
Good on them.
And I say 100% good on them. I can wait another year. What they showed is it looks awesome.
I believe someone from Nintendo said a rushed game will never be good, but a delayed game will eventually be good.
Exactly, and I'm all for that. So hey, we have to wait a little bit, but it's all right.
There's plenty of stuff.
And then they showed Daemon X Machina. You're excited about that? Take those reins again.
Holy crap. Okay. I played Armored Core a lot when I was a kid, which is a game where you just pilot mechs, you fight other people in mechs, and you go on mercenary missions. This is that. People who made Armored Core made this, but it is like that meets Fire Emblem because you have all these anime characters, and they showed a lot on Treehouse Live.
Yeah.
Where if you go on missions with other mercenaries, you can develop a relationship with them, and so you could actually like you fight better alongside those mercenaries. And I think you might even be able to be like, call on help. Like, I'm going on this mission. I want to bring this mercenary with me, and he'll be your backup. The game is co-op. I don't know if it's fully co-op, but they showed a 4-player co-op mission where they fought a giant spider tank, basically, at Treehouse Live.
Yeah.
And they all ran different builds. Like, one person had, like, healing pods that he could deploy from his back.
Yeah.
And so there's like a bunch of different diversity in how you play the game. In the trailer, they showed a giant sword and he swung it like a boomerang and threw it at a ship. It looked amazing. Like
That's what I want to do.
I don't know if it was a sword, but it was like, because you know that trailer moves so fast.
Yeah.
He just like swung something and threw it like a boomerang, and it went up to this ship and blew it up. It was awesome.
That's what I want to be.
Yeah. The music is amazing. They showed another video as part of Treehouse that was all of the stuff they changed from the demo trial to now. And I watched it with Anna, and I was just like, at first I was like, I don't need to watch this right now. I'll watch it later. But then the music kicked in, and it's just like Japanese metal with the shredding guitar and the drums, and it was like I'm literally watching here's improvements we made to this game, but I'm just like soaking it up because the music is so good. So I don't know. I'm super pumped for it. I'm a little disappointed that it's not August, but it's September. But it's soon.
It's coming. It's coming this year. September is going to be here tomorrow. Before you know it. I mean, for real.
And Fire Emblem.
They showed more about Fire Emblem.
You are skeptical.
I'm real skeptical. I'll be honest. I don't disagree. I watched some of the Treehouse Live, and it was a lot of talking and a lot of people management. And like they did this whole thing where like there was this one person who they were trying to level up to be a Lancer or something like that. And they went through this whole process, and it's not that it took a long time, but it's just like there was a lot of, oh, he needs to take this class, and oh, there's this probability that he'll make this class. He did it, look great, awesome. Okay, let's try this, and like there wasn't a whole lot going on, and so then eventually they had a fight, which I'm so glad it's not going to be like a 5-year period where you're just doing that, and then suddenly, bam, you're in a war. All the decisions you made way back here are gonna come into play, and like, did this guy was he a good choice for a Lance? Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the jump. Like, they eventually showed like there was a battle that you had to go on with your students to do whatever. And even there, I was just like not 100% engaged because I don't even really know. It's just like the first real like tactical strategy game that I played like that was
Wargroove, right?
Well, Wargroove, that would be my second, but Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
That's right.
But even Wargroove, that's even better because like there it made sense. It's like, okay, Lancers are good against this, or Archers are better against this. It doesn't work that way in this game. It used to, but they're changing that. Now it's like skill based. So I don't know. I'm interested. For me, I'm not buying it right now, but I want to try it on somebody's system. Or if they drop a demo or something, I want to try that.
And I'm a day one. Fire Emblem is one of my games as a kid. Like it's super nostalgic for me. And the reason I'm excited about this game is because something happened when Fire Emblem Awakening came out, where one of the backbones of Fire Emblem was always the characters and the relationships.
Right.
Like if you had this archer guy fight alongside this archer girl enough, and they got an S rank conversation, in the end, when you beat the game, if they both lived through the game, it would say what happened to them, and they would have gotten married.
Aww.
And so it would tell a little bit about them. So you were building these relationships. And it started off small, but then Fire Emblem Awakening came out, and they started having way more personality. And the characters were animated so well, they were drawn so great. And so it made a turn where the tactical combat was great, but the reason people like Fire Emblem had the resurgence it did was the characters. And
I definitely think with this one, the relationship you're going to build with all of the characters is going to be nuts. Yeah. Because you're a professor at basically War Hogwarts. Hogwarts. And you're teaching all these students who in the 5-year jump in the game, you're going to be fighting. And so obviously you'll have your students who will be on your team for your house or whatever. But like, I don't know. And that's another thing. Like, I never beat Fallout because I couldn't make a decision on whose faction I wanted to be.
You're going to pick the yellow house. Because it's got the guy with the bow. You're going to pick the yellow house.
Yeah, that's it. Never mind. I'm all in.
I even had that thought. I was like, there you go, Jake.
I have such an issue when it gets to those type of things because like I literally quit Fallout because I was just like, I know all of like what's going to happen depending on who I go with, and I just don't even want to make that decision. I just don't want to pick a direction to go, so I just stopped the game. I was like, it ends. It's over. So I don't know.
Basically what they're doing in Fire Emblem, for those that aren't aware, you are the professor of this school. You teach all of the students individually, and you pick a house that you are the professor for. And then you do all of this teaching and relationship building, and then there is a 5-year jump. The war starts, and you pick a house to side with. That doesn't have to be the house that you taught.
Oh, really?
Right.
Interesting.
You can change, I think. And what's interesting about this is that with Fire Emblem, a lot of the backstory for the characters is already established, and the characters just kind of start from a point. And in this game, you are laying those seeds of relationships and building these characters up to have this story before the war even starts, and then their war story can start. And so it's a lot more laying the seeds for the characters rather than sowing the rewards of the characters without having planted the seeds. And it sounds super long and a bit tedious, but they did say you can automate all of the school stuff.
Right.
So if that's not your thing,
that might make it easier for me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I said, I want to try it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd have to try a decent amount before I was like, yeah, I like this or not. So I don't know. Anyway.
Expect a Let's Play or live stream in the
Oh,
future.
yeah, there definitely will be one of those. I feel like there was one other game that they talked about, but I didn't write down. Oh, Pokemon, obviously. They talked a little bit about it. They didn't really announce anything crazy new. They showed a new Pokemon, though, in the demo that was on the floor. It wasn't in the trailers or anything, but it's called Yapper, I think. Yamper, that's it.
Anna is in love with
it.
Yamper.
It is an electric corgi,
Yep.
and it is like...
It's got a heart on its butt.
Yes, it is the best new Pokemon so far. I mean, Wooloo is pretty good, too, but I'm really excited about Yamper.
We're gonna have a Yamper. Yep.
On Pokemon, though, they have said that it's not going to have all of the Pokemon.
People are not okay with
people
it.
are not okay with that. It's only, like, you can't bring anything in from the bank that's not existing in the game already, which they keep saying Galar region Pokemon, but obviously we've seen some Pokemon that are older
Galar
generations.
region Pokedex.
Right.
So
yes.
it can be previous generation, but they have to be native to
Here's
Galar
my
region.
thing. As long as they have Eevee and all its evolutions, and I really want them to add a new evolution. I want a steel evolution and a dragon evolution, especially with this world that we're in. That's what I want, because we have a fairy evolution, but we don't have. So it's high time for a steel and dragon evolution.
Yep.
So I'd love for them to add those two, and then really, if they had, as long as I have Lucario, like, I really don't need anything else. From
my favorite Pokemon are like the obscure Pokemon, and so
really?
I'm screwed.
Yeah, you're really screwed. Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Natu and Xatu are up there.
That's
Gen 2 Psychic Bird.
yes, kind of looks Indian,
Looks like a totem
Native
pole.
American. Yes, yeah, okay.
I
know
love
exactly
that
what
Pokemon.
you're talking
It was
about.
really cool.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
It's
Never gonna
It's a
happen.
real rough shot there.
Yeah.
Well, and here, so I totally get it. Like they talked about, like it would take way too long to animate all those characters and stuff. And like there's been a lot of people arguing, like, what are they animating? Like if you look at the characters fighting, it does not look any more complex than what it has been.
Right.
There's rumors about this camping feature that you can do in the wildlands where you camp with your Pokemon, and there's like you're gonna be feeding them, you're gonna be interacting with them, and there's a lot of people that think it's gonna be that. But I don't know. So anyway, that's a bit of a bummer. Again, I have 4 that I need, and then I'm good.
Honestly, what this means is that they're just making a new jumping off point where they have brought Pokemon over to the Switch, and every game after this, the Pokedex will only expand.
Exactly. Well, here's my question. Do you think they'll add more Pokemon with time?
Potentially.
I think that would be cool.
It would be. It just depends on how much they want to
invest in this one title. Because they come out with a new Pokemon game every 4 years or so, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see where that goes. Yeah. And then, well, there was Banjo. That was a big moment. That was exciting.
And the hero from Dragon Quest. He looks like he plays really well.
He looks fine.
But I don't care about Dragon Quest.
I don't either.
But he looks like, as a character, he'd be fine.
I can only imagine. So Banjo was spoiled for me, unfortunately. But I can only imagine being somebody watching that direct live, knowing that we're at least hearing about one DLC character and Hero showed up, I would have been like, I'm done.
A lot of people were excited.
That's dumb. I'm sure they were, but people wanted Banjo. The people wanted Banjo.
And then they trolled us with the freaking Duck Hunt dog.
Well, so no, that was not how I wish he had been revealed, because they kind of ruined their own bit, right? Because they show them all napping, and then the puzzle piece comes on. You already know what's happening. Like, all the reactions, that's when the reaction happens. So then the duck dog, like, bit is not funny or entertaining because it's just over.
I didn't even see.
Thank you.
I didn't even see the puzzle piece. So.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I know a lot of people did.
I saw it bounce right across, and I was like, oh, man, here we go. But anyway, he looks great. His animations look great. His combat looked great. I cannot wait to jump back in and play as Banjo. I definitely want to do a Let's Play once he's out of Smash again, because we'll have 3 new characters to play as at that point. So
Piranha Plant.
And Piranha Plant. I haven't tried Piranha Plant yet.
That exists.
That's the thing that exists.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, Steven, they dropped the mic, and they dropped it hard. It was a nuke. It was a mic that was a nuke, Steven. They announced they're doing a Breath of the Wild sequel, a direct sequel. I don't even think, and I've heard people say that it is, I don't think Majora's Mask was necessarily a sequel to Ocarina of Time. Was it, though?
It was, because it technically took place after the events of Ocarina of Time.
Well,
in the same timeline. This
is a whole different level, because this is the same Link and the same Zelda and the same world from everything that it looks like so far. I am mind blown, so freaking excited that this is what they're doing.
I really hope that what this game is they kind of use the same world, but they expand mechanically, and because one of my complaints about Breath of the Wild is that the world felt empty. Like it was huge and like beautiful, and there was a lot of nature and everything, but like
you want more cities.
I want more like quests, people to interact with, loot to find, like all that stuff.
I hope that we get some new areas. Like, obviously, there was this whole underground area they were in. I wonder if they'll expand on that. If we are going to be in the same world, like same overworld, I want a year or 2 time jump so that there will be new structures and new places to kind of stumble upon. Even if it's the same, like, even if it's a thing that, like, I come up to a mountaintop that I knew this mountaintop in the other game, but suddenly there's a town here or even a horse stable here, like, oh, okay, cool.
Take like the Far Cry New Dawn approach and make it to where it's the same
exactly
map, but
something like that. Yeah. I do hope they advance mechanically on it. I hope we get some new tools, new things to use. I really
co-op dungeons.
Holy moly! I hope Zelda is either playable or co-op. And the way Nintendo is going, almost every single one of their games has something like Gooigi or Cappy or whatever, except for Zelda, because it was the first one.
Next year, they're going to show Link and Zelda riding a horse together, and they're going to be like, better grab a friend because Epona, the horse, is playable with a second controller.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be upset about that, but that's what my big hopes are, that they'll make Zelda playable. Even as single player, you could play as her, but I'd also like, if it would be co-op, to have her in the play with you. She cut her hair, so she looks like a Linkle.
Did she cut her hair, or did she braid it up? Because it looks like
it's braided, but then it is cut.
Okay.
I hope she looks exactly like Linkle. Like for a second, watching the trailer, you think it's Linkle.
Yeah.
Her hair is shorter than Link's now, which is kind of funny to me. But anyway. I hope they make her playable. And then another thing that was just kind of a pet peeve of mine was you had the Wolf Link amiibo that would give you the Wolf Link, and he would follow you around, and he would fight for you. He'd help dig up food for you and do all this other stuff. You had everything built in there to have a dog companion, but you could only do it with this amiibo, which, like, obviously Link, the Wolf Link, would be like the coolest dog to have with you. But like, why couldn't, at a horse stable, if there was a dog, why couldn't I like connect with this dog and have it follow me around?
Right.
Like, that's what I want. So that would be a huge improvement. But then basically anything else they do, I'm all excited. Yeah. It looks like we're gonna be getting actual Ganon and not just Calamity Ganon.
Right.
It seems like the source of Calamity Ganon was this Ganon. who looks like he's trapped somehow by some magic, and it looks like Link accidentally undoes that magic.
Yeah.
I'm really curious where they'll go with that, but like, I think it would be cool if we were finding new champions too. I don't know. I'm all about it. I'm so excited. Like, in my wildest dreams, I was hoping they would do this, but I never thought we would have heard about it this year.
That's the title. It leaked. Breath of the Wildest Dreams.
I've been wondering what the title is going to be. Is it going to be Breath of the Blank, or is it going to be Legend of Zelda something completely different?
It's going to be Legend of Zelda something completely different. Quoted.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
Something completely different. Sequel of Breath of the Wild, but something completely different. That was a really get hype moment. I don't think, unfortunately, we're probably not going to get this game until 2021.
Probably not.
Maybe even 2022.
Yeah. So if it's on the Switch.
But man, I mean, I hope it's going to be on the Switch.
I hope so too.
I don't think it would. That'd be a really short life cycle.
It really would. But
so, especially with a Switch that I could see us getting a Switch 2.0, but not moving on to the next thing. I honestly,
it's gonna be Legend of Zelda sequel to Breath of the Wild coming to Nintendo Labo VR next fall.
There is a Nintendo Labo VR in Breath of the Wild. Did you know that?
It's garbage.
You know, it is cardboard.
It's literally garbage.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of ChortleCast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can like this video, share it with your friends, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought about E3. What were your favorite things? What are the games you're most excited about?
We would love to hear about that, what you guys loved at E3 the most. Mm-hmm. Anything that we didn't talk about. I know we didn't mention a few things like Astral Chain. I know a lot of people love that. But
the Yu-Gi-Oh! Police?
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Police, yeah.
Yeah. Are you still excited about that one?
It looks cool.
Yeah, leave us a comment, let us know. If you're an audio listener, you're probably listening through iTunes. You can leave us a review there. That really helps people find the channel. You can also email us at chortlecast@gmail.com. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear us talk about or news stories of the week you'd like to hear us talk about, that sort of thing. This is a very different podcast for us since it's just like E3, brain dump. And then you can also join our Discord through the description of this video or on our channel banner. We have a whole channel in Discord dedicated to podcast requests and questions and that sort of thing. So you can comment there. But also you can just hang out because we post fun memes and hang out and do all sorts of fun stuff. A lot of memes. You can also follow us at Chortle Games on Twitter and Facebook. So a lot of good stuff. Great ways to keep up with us. But Steven, the podcast is not the only thing we do here at Chortle Games. We do
a lot of other stuff.
So much more stuff. Podcast airs every Monday at 12 o'clock Central Time. Usually Monday nights, Steven does a Division 2 live stream.
I haven't heard from my people yet, but I'm going to try to do it. If no one is available, we won't. Mm-hmm. But if someone is like, hey, let's do this thing.
Steven's recruiting new people already.
And
so
if no one wants to do Division, I might just pull an Audible and just play Doom. That's what I do.
Hey, that's what he does. Normally, we have a Tuesday or Thursday night stream that we call Team Up Tuesday or Thursday. Team Up T-Day. Yeah. We are putting those on hold through the months of June and July. Yeah. That said, though, if we have free time, we may jump in and do some Destiny because we're excited to do Destiny.
There will never be a Tuesday or Thursday stream. That
over the summer.
We can't promise you one.
Yeah.
But if we ever let's play some Destiny, we'll totally do it. And
so,
we'll give you guys plenty of notice.
Exactly, yeah. And, again, through those Discords and Twitter and all that good stuff. So that will be happening Wednesday. Is when we do our Let's Plays. This week.
Good one.
This week is going to be me and Steven playing Episode.
That's where Jake and I become a thought bot. You know? In high school.
I mean, yeah, that's the basic description. It's a stupid mobile game that you always probably get ads for, and it's like,
if you play mobile games,
Johnny is asleep. What should I do? And it's like wake him up or sniff him or whatever. It's that game, but there's a million different story arcs you can go through, and so we picked a high school one and did through that. So anyway, it was really, really funny. And then Friday night I'll be doing a live stream. Saturday night Steven will be doing a live stream.
And I'll be doing Where Is Zer?
And Steven will be doing Where Is Zer? We're back in it on Where Is Zer. Mm-hmm. So if you are still playing Destiny or even just kind of getting ready to get back into Destiny with some of the new stuff, you can see what we'll be showing you what Zer has. And Steven's really good about giving some thoughts on certain weapons because you know a good bit of them. So there's a couple that you're like, this is all right.
Yeah, I usually get my personal recommendations, and you guys sometimes tell me I'm trash, but that's why we.
That's why we're all friends.
We have discourse,
That's the whole reason for discourse. Yeah. But anyway, so that happens, and then I'll be doing a Friday night stream, and Steven will be doing a Saturday night stream. So if something goes wrong with me, I'm planning a wedding. I'm shooting a wedding this weekend, so Steven may end up doing both, but I'm trying to do Friday.
Expect Doom. If I end up filling in.
Expect Doom all weekend.
Expect Doom.
It's just going to be Doom every day. I mean, I was playing Days Gone every day, but now I finally finished that. So.
Oh, you did finish it.
I have finished the game.
Thank God you can play Destiny now.
It's real dumb. I love and I hate when games end and there's this one last story thread that's kind of just to wrap it up like an epilogue or whatever. And so I'm starting to get those, and I'm just like, I don't think you understand that I wanted to beat this game so I can walk away. And now you're not letting me walk away. So there's a part of me that's I may come back. Friday night, I did a stream where I was just cleaning up hordes because I was just like, I haven't been able to play this game on stream. I wanted to, haven't even gotten to do a Let's Play with it, so I wanted to stream something. So I streamed that, and that was a lot of fun. But like, I started getting things for like the story mission, and I was just like, I want to. When I close this, I never open it again. Yep. And it was a great game. I had a lot of fun with it, but I was just ready to be done. Yeah, so anyway, I'm ready to get back into Destiny, Steven. We're getting back into Destiny.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.